Gemini Ascendants, this video is for you, which means if you have number 3 in the first house here, or if you have your moon in Gemini, or if you have a cluster of planets, like 3 or 4 planets conjunct in the sign of Gemini, you should watch this video. That means you have a very strong Gemini energy in your birth chart. So this video is going to be in 2 parts. I'm going to first talk about your personality traits and the personality traits of your spouse or your relationship that you will attract in this lifetime. The second part of the video is certain planetary placements which are not good for relationships, and certain placements which can definitely give a long-term committed relationship, especially to do with the 7th house and the 7th house lord. Okay, so let's start with the personality types. So Geminis are usually very fun-loving people. They're governed by Mercury, love communication, especially if Mercury is well placed, have a great sense of humor. They're very quick-witted people, spontaneous people, likes to express themselves. They could be extremely articulate, are able to express themselves really well, and that could be something that their partners really appreciate about how articulate and how well they are able to express themselves or a certain situation or anything at all. Okay, communication comes naturally to the Gemini people. Also, in most cases I have seen that Gemini people are very social people. They like to socialize. They usually have a good set of friends, and they are also able to make new friends. Okay. They're also extremely intelligent people. I think one of the most intelligent signs, Gemini, I consider them as one of the most intelligent signs because it's governed by Mercury. Mercury is the significator of your brain or intelligence. Okay. With these personality types, the negatives are Geminis could lack focus. They could be easily distracted. They could also be very easily bored, and that could be a problem in their relationships. That there's something that they like about their partners initially, but later on they are absolutely bored and they're looking for something different in their life, and that could be one of the major problems in relationships for them. Okay, at times their sense of humor may come across as sarcastic and insensitive, so you need to watch out. If you have a sense of humor and you like making people laugh and you're always looking at humor, even in I've seen at times Geminis, even in a bad situation, I have a friend that someone's family member died and he cracked a joke on that, and that was not very well taken. So sense of humor. So you need to be careful about that. Their partners also, the kind of people that they like, that they are drawn to intelligence again. They are drawn to intelligent people. They are drawn to very learned people. Geminis like to have conversations, and conversations are usually with people who have a lot of knowledge. So they like that personality trait in their partner. Their partners could be way more patient than them. Another negative trait about Geminis is they could be extremely impulsive. Suddenly they could want to go somewhere, suddenly travel or do this, do that, could be extremely restless. And their partners may not be like that. Their partners may be a lot calmer, and they do not like this personality trait of the Geminis. Okay. The other personality types that they are drawn to very honest and blunt, straightforward people, right? They are drawn to freedom-loving people. They are drawn to people who have strong knowledge and opinions about certain things, about especially very principle-oriented people. They are also drawn to idealistic people who can have conversations about philosophy, okay? About anything to do with artwork and scriptures. Geminis will totally like it. They would like to have conversations about business, politics. Yeah, Mercury is the sign of business, so you can have Geminis who are talking about how the world could change, or about innovation, about how technology could change things. So they like people who can hold long, meaningful, deep conversations. Okay. Now the problems. Now the problems are Geminis can come across as unreliable and not serious about relationships. So that could be one of their major concerns that their partners have. Okay, their partners may like I said, they're attracted to partners who are extremely knowledgeable. Now their partners could be more knowledgeable than them, and that could cause arguments. See, the more you talk, the more there is arguments. If you don't talk, there are not too many arguments, right? If you choose to keep quiet and not react, then there will be lesser arguments, right? So without your reaction, your enemy is powerless, right? So this is something that Geminis must follow. All right. So they may have a lot of arguments because of them coming across insensitive, or they may feel that their partners are overly sensitive, or they're just too intense. They can't handle it. Okay. Their partners may not be as social as the Geminis. Their partners might be idealistic and they want to go for a yoga retreat, and the Geminis say, I don't find any sense in why you want to. Their partners might want to go on a solo travel, and the Geminis want to do things together. So these could be certain issues between Geminis and the partners that they attract. Okay. Let's look at certain planetary placements that can cause some issues. So as you can see, there is Sagittarius energy in the 7th house, which Sagittarius is a fire sign. So if Sun goes to Sagittarius there, although, well, Sun is the lord of their 3rd house. So Sun becomes a functional malefic and a malefic for the Gemini people, although Sun and Mercury are great friends. So if Sun is in the 7th house, Sun has no directional strength there. So Sun coming to the 7th house can cause problems, ego related issues, argument related issues. Not the best placement. Okay. We look at the placement of Jupiter, because Jupiter is governing the 7th house. So Jupiter goes to the 6th house, 12th house, 8th house, 12th house and the 2nd house. It is not considered as the best placement for Jupiter and can cause conflict and also separation if you're married. Especially if you have malefics in the 7th house. For example, if your Jupiter is in all these houses, in one of these houses, 6th, 8th, 12th or 2nd, and you have Rahu in the 7th house, Rahu and Mars conjunct in the 7th house, it's not the best placement for a long-term relationship or even marriage. You need to look at your partner's chart, and your partner's chart should be supportive. You need to look at your D9. If D9 is also not giving you a good sign, then you should be very, very cautious before you spend more time to understand your partner. It could be your partner, could be your enemy from your last life. Okay? We meet friends and enemies from our past life. Sometimes we are not able to identify who they are. Alright? How can we identify? Spend more time with them. See how much value they are adding to your lives. Are they adding value to your lives, or you are adding value to their lives? It should be mutual, right? So placement of Jupiter, very, very important. Especially if you're a woman, the placement of Jupiter becomes extremely important. And if Jupiter is in the 8th house, I don't consider that very good, because Jupiter debilitates in the 8th house. So be very careful. Look at the placement in D9, analyze the 7th house of your partner. Okay? Because Jupiter is the significator of a husband or the male partner in a woman's chart. For a man, we will look at the placement of Venus. For example, Venus is in the 10th house, exalted. Considered a very, very good, powerful placement of Venus. Alright, can give you and especially if you're in the 9th, in the 7th house, you have Jupiter there. Yeah, Jupiter will do very good in the 7th house because it's in its own sign. Alright. Now Mars in the 7th house can give mixed result, because you see Mars is a fighter. And you don't need that kind of an energy in your 7th house where you're continuously having arguments and aggression disagreements with your spouse. So we have to analyze if Mars is there in the 7th house. I don't consider Mars very good in the 7th house. Although Mars does pretty good in the sign of Sagittarius, but when it comes to relationship, we are looking about compassion, love, and peace between the two partners. And Mars is everything but love, compassion, and peace. Mars is aggression. So Mars in the 7th house can cause a lot of friction in the relationship. Again, we have to look at the D9. Navamsha is very, very important. In D9, we look at the D9 Lagna Lord. We will look at the 7th house. We'll look at the 7th house Lord. And most important planet in D9 we will look at is Venus. If Venus is strong in 7th house, in your D9, Navamsha, usually people can have a good long-lasting relationship. Okay. Now Rahu and Ketu in the 7th house for the Geminis again is not a very good placement. You need to be careful, especially if Saturn is looking at it from the 5th house. It can cause separation. Okay. So watch out for that particular placement. Lots of things we have to look at. We have to look at the transit. See, right now Jupiter is transiting in Gemini, right? And Jupiter will be looking at the 7th house. It can cause marriage. It can cause new relationship. So transit your Mahadasha. Which Mahadasha are you going through? Which Antardasha are you going through? How strong is your D9? What is your Tithi Lord? What is your Vara Lord? Which day were you born? Which Tithi? Check in Panchang. So there are lots of things you can, if you want to know more about how to match two charts, how to see how strong it is, how strong your chart is for relationships. Go to my playlist. I have made a few, not too many, I've made a couple of videos where you can check the strength of relationship, where you can look at your Tithi, how to find out your Tithi, which Tithi were you born in, what is your Tithi Lord, analyzing your D9. Okay, so the same combinations, like if you have malefics in the 7th house, what are the malefics? Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu, Sun. These are all malefic planets. If these planets are in the 7th house or their aspect in the 7th house, it will have, there will be ups and downs. But will the relationship last or not? That is something we have to analyze, right? There are arguments in every relationship. People are married for 20 years. You ask them, you've never had an argument, you've never have fallen apart. You will say, yes, we've had it multiple times. But the reason they are still together and they still love each other is because they were able to resolve those arguments. So that is extremely important. Are you able to resolve arguments with your partner, or you're not able to resolve arguments with your partner? All right. So another couple of things I would like to talk about is see, Saturn in the 7th house. I would give it mixed results. If Saturn is in the 7th house and your Jupiter is very well placed, it can give you a very, very strong, long-lasting relationship. Okay, Saturn has a lot of strength in the 7th house, and Saturn is a functional benefic planet for the Gemini people. It's the lord of your 9th house. So Saturn in the 7th house may not be bad. But if Saturn has been aspected by Mars from the 4th house, that could give problems. But if Saturn has been aspected by Jupiter from the 3rd house, for example, Jupiter is in Leo in the 3rd house and is looking at Saturn, or Jupiter is in your 1st house, or Jupiter is conjunction with Saturn in the 7th house, it can give you a strong, long-lasting relationship. We have to look at the placement of Jupiter. Okay. Now, Jupiter in the 2nd house can cause some ups and downs, although Jupiter is exalted there. But we'll have to look at other aspects because it is 8th from the 7th, so it could cause some problems. We have to look at other aspects and other combinations and the divisional charts to understand how it is. We have to look at your partner's charts as well. All right. The last thing I want to talk about is the placement of moon is very, very important. Look at the placement of moon in your chart and the moon in your partner's chart. The moon needs to be strong. So for a long-lasting relationship, we are looking at moon. Moon is nothing but your mind, the stability of mind. So if moon is well placed, so which means if moon is in good sign. For example, moon is in Pisces, or moon is in exaltation, or moon is in the Kendra. All right, you have to look at placement. Moon is in conjunction with Jupiter. Moon is in conjunction with a friend. So we have to look at the placement of moon and the strength of moon. If moon is weak, moon is afflicted by Rahu, moon is afflicted by Saturn, those could cause problems again, right? Because the strength of the mind for a long lasting relationship, we need to check in both the charts. Alright, so these are few things that I said. There are so many things, there are lots of permutations and combinations. To match a Kundali, we have to spend a lot of time looking at both the charts to see how compatible they are and what kind of dashas they are running, and how their weakness is being complemented by their partners in their birth charts. So that's all I have for now. If you want to learn Vedic astrology, I'm starting a Vedic astrology beginners course on July 27th. So get in touch with us if you want to enroll, or refer it to your friend and family. If you like this video, hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you want a consultation, get in touch with us. I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.